All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, look at this. Dr. Olaleye, previously jailed for sexual offenses in Nigeria, to be arraigned in UK court on Friday. And influencer Salako elaborated the story. He said a Nigerian doctor was sentenced to life imprisonment for rape. He was later freed by appeal court. Then he fled to the UK. He got to the UK and committed the same crime. He will be arraigned in court today. This is the very definition of a now disgraced country, in quotes. This is what we are talking about. Tomorrow, somebody will say it is people making videos talking about the situation of Nigeria that are demarketing the country. Another person will say it is Peter Obi that is demarketing the country. But look at how you have, marketed your judiciary. I hope this is a very good way to market the Nigerian judiciary. A man was caught red-handed, and then the judiciary freed him, told him, let him just flee to the UK. Even though he was guilty of rape, he went to the UK and did the same thing. He will be arraigned. And I'm telling you, just like Ekwere Madu, he's going to be jailed. This is how Nigeria under the APC continues to disgrace itself. And sadly, we are never going to see the back of all these challenges until we format this country and start all over again from the scratch. And everything begins by getting the APC out of power. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one coming from the chairman of Northern Governors. This update shocked the entire Nigeria. People now know why Sheikh Gumi can back terrorists openly and walk around free in this country. And next is that big one. The Donald Trump US government has now been placed on red alert after Tinubu violated the same international rules of engagement that they are quoting against Donald Trump's proposed invasion of terrorists in Nigeria. They said Nigeria is a sovereign state and you must obtain permission before carrying out military action. Now, Tinubu government carried out military action in Benin Republic in reaction to the coup that is ongoing without the permission of Benin Republic, and the world began alerting Donald Trump. They said this means that you can also invade Nigeria without any permission. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video.
Trump pumped in or not? I think President Tinubu has just risen to the occasion. Before, Nigerians became afraid. Let me tell you, Shehu. You see, I have said it here many times, that Nigeria's military, this is, will I call it a camel case for them. But the issue,
meaning that it's a very simple
case. It's a very simple thing
the
for
banditry and terrorism.
It's a simple thing for the Nigerian military to deal with.
So why has it been looking difficult?
There is no political way to direct. The instructions are not there. That's my intel.
But we've had former military men who have been president.
Listen. We have seen stories. We have gotten feelers that there will even be a punch they go to the terrorists. They'll be called back. When President Jonathan said that I have Boko Haram in my government, they have infiltrated my government, President Buhari came and got men into the army. How
do you mean?
No, there were some that were repentant. Some of them.
But I've heard those the CDS at the time said it's almost impossible for you to have.
No, I'm talking what was written then that was not denied. I don't know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, that there is no way that a repentant terrorist or Boko Haram member would have been admitted into the military.
If something was written when President Buhari was here, it was not denied. You can't deny it now. Nigerians saw it. And how would you succeed when the army is not working in unison? The Nigerian army has done more serious encounters and wars outside Nigeria. I was privileged to have met many of them, and they got through the same training as far back as 1992. I saw their this thing. So it's not a matter of Nigerian army. At times, most of them are disillusioned. Give them the appropriate orders. Give them the appropriate tools. Nigerian army, Air Force, Navy, all of them, they will clear this mess in less than 3 months. Okay, what do you think is happening now? What do you think is happening now? There are things we cannot say in public. What is happening now is that President Tinubu has seen that if we are not careful, this thing will consume all of us. You talked about Trump being on our neck.
According to the
Senate President, that Trump is on our neck. I thought he was on our leg. It was only 2 days ago I heard from my in-law that Trump is on our neck. If Trump has to be on our neck permanently for this nonsense to go, please, Trump, hold our neck. We have made ourselves a caricature of the situation.
You saw that. And I think Seun Okinbaloye was actually clowning there when he began to argue that repentant Boko Haram members were not ingratiated into the Nigerian army under the Buhari regime. Maybe Seun was just playing there, because everybody in this country, every adult in this country that has been following our politics knows that repentant Boko Haram members, as we speak, are still being ingratiated into the army. And he was saying that the chief of defense staff then said that there was no way a Boko Haram member was going to be allowed to join the Nigerian military. That is not the case, please. In fact, one of the top army officials, the video is still everywhere today, stood there and said that a repentant Boko Haram member can even become the president of Nigeria. That was what they were saying under the Buhari regime. And even under the Tinubu regime, their position has not really changed. Because we can see supporters of APC coming on air to say things like we should, try to understand what the bandits are trying to say. We should try to see things from the perspective of the bandits. To the point that the chairman of ACF, Arewa Consultative Forum, sat on Arise TV and said Tinubu should extend an arm of friendship to the bandits. And there is only one reason why somebody can look at Tinubu's face and tell him that. It is because the person is aware that Tinubu is aware of everything that is happening. He knows that anybody in the top hierarchy of the APC was right there at the formation of the party, and he knows the agreement, the pact that the APC has with these bandits. And that's exactly what the interviewee was saying there. He said if you allow Nigerian military to work within 3 months, they can take these people out. The problem is the political will. And that was what I said when they brought back the former chief of defense staff, Christopher Musa. I say it's not about hiring and firing. Does the APC have the political will to put an end to insecurity in Nigeria? Well, I will say, to be neutral, I will say it is left to be seen. But personally, I do not think they have the political will. And with them in power, Nigeria will never see the back of insecurity. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one coming from the chairman of Northern Governors Forum, a very despicable update to say the least. And next is that big one. United States government has now been placed on red alert after the Tinubu government violated international rule of engagement, the same rule that they used to deter Donald Trump from taking immediate military action in Nigeria. Let's start by taking that update from the chairman of Northern Governors Forum. Look at how the papers reported it. The chairman of the Northern Governors Forum and governor of Gombe State, Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya, says the failure to understand the grievances that pushed armed bandits to take up weapons is one of the major factors worsening insecurity across northern Nigeria. Wow. This is the governor of Gombe State and the chairman of Northern Governors Forum. He is speaking for Northern Governors now, and he said the failure of the Nigerian state to understand the grievances of the bandits, to understand the grievances of the terrorists, is one of the reasons why security is worsening. And this has been the position of Sheikh Gumi. So you wonder why they are not arresting Gumi. You wonder why Gumi is walking about free. He is speaking for northern governors. He is speaking for northern elites. He is their voice. He is their mouthpiece. What are the grievances of the bandits, if I may ask? That they have been neglected. They were not given education. That is why they are going to kidnap poor people like them. If the government is maltreating them, why can't they attack National Assembly? Why can't the bandits attack an APC gathering or even PDP gathering? Why are they not going after politicians? Why are they going after poor Nigerians that are suffering the same things that you want to claim is what they are suffering, that push them into banditry? What are you talking about here? This is a direct sponsor of banditry in Nigeria. There's nothing you can tell me. This man is one of the sponsors, and he's an APC governor, of course. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to this, that update where the US has now been placed on red alert after the Tinubu government violated the same principle with which they are trying to hold back the US from invading Nigeria, began making the rounds. Look at how the papers reported it. Now, it all began with the military coup in Benin Republic, and look at it. Sahara reporters breaking: coup underway in Benin Republic as military attacks President Talon's residence, seizes national TV. They actually attacked the residence of the President Talon, and they seized the national TV. This is the video. They went on air and began to announce that they had taken over power, and they began to state their reasons. They barricaded the president's residence and they took over. Although they began to experience reprisal attacks from other members of the military. That is how it happens anytime there is a coup. Some other factions will try to stop the coup, and as we speak, there is still ongoing gun battle in Benin Republic because the coup is still on. But look at what happened. The Tinubu administration, in trying to act like a big brother, because they are panicking, they don't want the entire West Africa and East Africa and every part of Africa to become military controlled, because they know that with the way this thing is going, Nigeria might be next. And as such, they deployed a fighter jet to Benin Republic. Although they later withdrew the jet, but it was deployed without the permission of Benin Republic. Look at how the papers reported it. Sahara reporters: Nigeria withdraws deployed fighter jet as Benin stabilizes after foiled coup attempt. Nigeria has withdrawn the fighter aircraft earlier deployed to the Benin Republic after authorities concluded that the security situation in the neighboring country had stabilized following a dramatic but short-lived coup attempt on Sunday. Security analyst Zagazola Makama on his X handle on Sunday revealed that the coup attempt against President Patrice Talon was decisively foiled, with loyalist elements regaining full command of Cotonou before nightfall. The crisis began in the early hours when a group of mutineers in military uniforms launched an assault on the presidential residence. And what happened? Nigeria deployed a military fighter jet into Benin Republic without the permission of the government of Benin Republic. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. And this tweet here by Botija began tagging everybody. He tagged Tinubu and he tagged Donald Trump and the POTUS. He said, Nigerian president, I hope you know you have created a pathway for Donald Trump, president of the US, to strike terrorists inside Nigeria. You entered somebody's territory without asking for permission. Who is advising Tinubu? It is okay, this film go long. That is the truth. You have violated the same principle with which you were trying to stop Trump. And Lee here says, sovereignty violation of another country. Let not one of those data boys cry when the US bombs will be coming down on the Muslim terrorists and their sympathizers. That is it. It is sad enough that we have even come to this point where some people are sympathizing with the terrorists. that the US should not drop bombs on them. I am telling you, with what Nigeria has done now, because what we showed here is might, that we are bigger than Benin Republic and we can just take fighter jets there without even informing them. The US can do the same here now. And this tweet here says, Nigeria can threaten Benin's government with military action, but strongly kicked against US assistance to flush out terrorists in Nigeria. There is God, oh. That is it. And Sarah to Miriam says, I like the way APC minions are quiet and didn't say Nigeria is invading Benin Republic, which is a sovereign state. But by the mention of the name Donald Trump, every tongue begins to wag. That is it. You are quiet now, Daniel Bwala and everybody. Nobody is saying that Benin is a sovereign state now. Nobody is saying that now. But when Trump coughs, you say Nigeria is a sovereign state. And this tweet here says, so Republic of Benin is no longer a sovereign country, that Nigeria is interfering in their politics. But Nigeria is a sovereign country that US can't interfere. So Benin, you can interfere. But when it comes to Nigeria, the US cannot interfere. You are joking. You have opened the door for foreign interference. Now they don't need our permission. And Yetunde Showumi here says, Nigeria has fighter jets and the country they burn every morning, afternoon and night. Funny Republic. Yetunde is actually saying, so you can deploy fighter jet within the twinkle of an eye to Benin Republic because you are afraid that Nigeria might be next in line. But you cannot deploy these same fighter jets to fight terrorists in Nigeria. And in response to what is making the rounds now, because what they are saying is that breaking news, Benin Republic president safe, army regaining control. That is what the presidency is saying, that the coup has been totally, foiled. But we are hearing counter reports. This one says, from Typical African, it says there is still ongoing gunfire at the presidential palace in Benin. Disregard any news that the coup has been thwarted. Nigerian military forces have also been sent to Benin after a call from Macron to President Tinubu. Wow. Nigerian military forces sent to Benin Republic. How is this going to end? But one thing is sure, we have now opened way for other countries to also be able to do whatever they like here in terms of military action without even taking our permission with this thing that we have done in Benin Republic. We'll keep our fingers crossed and see how this coup attempt in Benin Republic is going to end. African countries, there is a growing discontent with democracy all across Africa, and it is only a matter of time. If things don't change, Africa will fall back to military rule. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because na because of una na I dey here. So don't go away. Don't go away.